today we have Ryan.
Hey, I'm Ryan.
Welcome to the Your Voice community.
Hello, community.
And O'Rain is behind the scenes doing his thing. There you go. Thank you, O'Rain. He's humble, but he's going to break down the air conditioning units. Why get and why not get, and how to protect. And feel free to take over, Ryan.
Yeah, so a lot of people know that air conditioner makes things cold, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But how does it do that, and why are they engineered the way they are, and what can you do to make sure you have the right air conditioner for your home? First thing is, you buy a used air conditioner off Craigslist. You're going to pay like half to a third the price at the store. You got to test it out before you pick it up.
That's what attracted me.
First of all, an air conditioner is it's a heat moving device. It doesn't make cold, it moves heat. It basically moves the heat from the air in your room to the air outside.
Okay.
Essentially, you're taking this refrigerant, you're letting it absorb the heat from the room, and then you're moving it to a coil on the outside of the environment you're trying to cool, and then you're blowing air over those coils to then push the heat off of that into the relatively lower temperature environment outside. So the coils on the outside get pretty hot.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you press on.
Yeah.
It sucks air. Well, or takes in air and then blows it out of its rear, so to speak.
No, it does not.
Takes in the coil. The coil sucks it up.
The air isn't moving. Like basically, it blows air from inside your room through itself back into the room. It blows it over the coils.
Okay.
So it's blowing the warm air from your room over the coils, which are absorbing the heat from the air, and then putting the air back in the room. So the air is never really leaving the room.
Okay, so the coils are at this point freezing.
The coils are a closed system that have a refrigerant in them. You don't want to breathe that.
Ryan and his father, off of Craigslist, was the very ad that started with Dr. Freeze, right?
Yeah. My dad's a
Dr. Freeze
Craigslist personality.
Yes, and I'm plugging him in here now. Very trustworthy gentleman. But he sold me an AC, large AC, with the remote control. I was pretty impressed. And I fell in love with it. Needed a smaller one for my daughter's room and came back. Now I noticed that there were two different types, right? One had a remote, one was relatively digital, and the smaller unit, simply on and off. So one of the things Ryan warned me about actually was that I needed to give the smaller unit some time between on and off, that is. Why should I give it time? On and off.
So when the compressor is running, when your air conditioner is running and actually making cold, I know it's technically incorrect.
Break it down. Yep.
Making cold.
Making cold. All right.
Making cold. It is creating a high pressure zone on the output side of the compressor.
Okay.
And when you have all of that pressure on the output side of the compressor, and you turn the compressor off, it no longer has momentum. But it has all of that pressure on the outside. It has to push against to start again. So if you turn that compressor back on right away after turning it off, it's basically like
getting punched in the head.
The motor won't be able to turn, and you're gonna create a lot of resistance. You might trip a circuit breaker.
Yeah.
And you can damage the compressor. That's a really big thing. You don't want to damage the compressor.
Plugging it into a surge protector help?
No. Well, the surge protector might trip instead of the circuit breaker in your basement and save you some leg room. But in general, you don't want to stress the component. So if you turn your AC off for some reason, wait 3 or 4 minutes before turning it back on, so that the high pressure side can basically reach equilibrium with the rest of the system. Basically, the pressure is going to make its way through the coils back to the other side.
And these bigger ACs have that built in, a natural securing trip.
Well, a bigger AC is more likely to have a computer controlled circuit board that says, once the compressor was recently on, don't turn on. And that's actually one of the ways if you're buying a used air conditioner and the fan's on when the AC's on. When you turn it to actually AC, you'll hear another click and a hum, and that humming noise is the compressor running. And if you don't hear the compressor running, it's a bad AC. But once the compressor's running, then you hold your hand in front of the fan and see if the air actually gets colder.
Outstanding.
And that's pretty much how you test a used AC. So you don't want to get a 10,000 BTU unit for a small bedroom. That's going to be way too much. It's going to be cycling on and off a lot. It's much better to get a smaller unit that will run at a pretty consistent rate so that you're not stressing the components with on-off cycles.
That's excellent.
And your power bill probably less because they're probably more efficient for the room that it's in.
Okay, Ryan. In closing, anything else you want to add? I mean, it's been a wealth of information. That part will probably get edited out.
You can edit that out. My name is Ryan, and my voice matters.
Thank you, sir.
No problem. I mean, there's